How many of us are actually worshippers or slaves of God? How many of us are actually free? Do I really wear whatever Allah wants me to wear, or do I wear whatever I want to wear? Do I speak the way Allah would like me to speak, or do I speak the way I want to speak? Do I treat people the way Allah wants me to treat them, or do I treat them the way I want to treat them? Do I have an egotistical character, thinking that I am better than everyone else, or do I actually have a submissive character, thinking that, you know what, I may be better than everyone else, but it's up to God to choose. I am just like anyone else in that context. Am I humble? Am I not? That's really what we have to think about. It is said a man one day went, back in the old days when they used to actually sell slaves, back many years ago. A person went to buy a slave. So he comes by the slave to the slave market, and he finds somebody that he kind of thinks he's good. He asks him, "What's your name?" And the slave says, "Whatever you want to name me." He says, "What do you like to eat?" "Whatever you feed me." "Where do you like to sleep?" "Wherever you put me to sleep." He's like, "Excuse me, why don't you answer my questions? I'm asking you, what is your name? And you tell me whatever you name me. What do you want to eat? Whatever you feed me. What do you want to sleep? Come on. What do you like to wear? Oh, whatever you clothe me. Whatever you give me to wear. Just answer me." The slave looks at this man and gives a beautiful reply. قال أو تنفع العبد الأماني. He says, does a slave really have any wishes? Suppose I tell you my name is John, but you decide to call me, for example, Ahmed. You know, what? Can I tell you no? You're the master, I'm the slave. You can call me whatever you want. Suppose I tell you I would like to eat kebab every day, but you tell me no, you're going to have shawarma every day. Can I tell you no? Khalas, you're the master, I'm the slave. Suppose I'd like to tell you that I like to wear Gucci and Calvin Klein, but you tell me no, sir, you're going to wear banana. Can I argue with you? No, I can't. You're the master, I'm the slave. Suppose I tell you I'd like to sleep on the most comfortable orthopedic mattress, but you tell me, sir, you're going to sleep on the stable next to the horses. Can I tell you no? You're the master, I'm the slave. A slave has no wishes. When this person heard this, it came like a shock. He sat down and started crying. People came to him and was like, "What's the matter with you? Are you okay? Did this slave say something to you?" He's like, no. This slave actually reminded me of what a terrible slave I am to God. What a terrible servant I am to my Lord. This slave says, a slave has no wishes. I should be a slave of God, but look at me. God tells me, I want you to pray at this time. I'm like, yeah, whatever, I'll pray whenever I want. I want you to dress in a particular way. Oh, forget it, I'll dress whatever I want. I want you to speak in a particular manner, have a particular character. And I'm like, forget it, I want to do whatever I want. What a terrible slave I am. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes as abd, a true abd, a servant of God, is one whom submits to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Zakariya submits to Allah, and hence Allah describes him as abdihi Zakariya, his servant Zakariya. So during these remaining days of the month of Ramadan, my dear brothers and sisters, let us really think about this. How can I improve myself as a slave of God? And in doing so, how can I live free by being a slave of God, a servant of God? I'll do whatever pleases Him, even though it may not be in line with whatever I like. But if He likes it, I will do so. Zakariya alayhi salam turns to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and makes this dua, ذِكْرُ رَحْمَةِ رَبِّكَ عَبْدَهُ Zakariya, and mention the mercy of your Lord upon His servant Zakariya, when he, Zakariya, called his Lord out loud in privacy. Apparently Zakariya went a place where no one could hear him. Maybe, for example, he came to the masjid or the place of worship. Nobody was around, but he turned to Allah. He asked. He made a dua, made a prayer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Many of us have needs. Many of us require some help. So when we are in need, we turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There are several papers that talk about the power of prayers and the well-being of individuals. Those who pray, they have a better mental health and physical health compared to those who do not pray. People who associate with God or pray to God, they feel better. And there are many reasons behind this. In one paper published back in 2007 by someone called Ladd, L-A-D-D, and in a paper that was published back in 2001 by a scholar by the name of Hill. This is from Grove City College in Pennsylvania. Listen to this. This is what Hill says, one of the scholars, about prayers. He says, these latter models emphasize the role of religion as a coping mechanism that works through social resources, example, fellowship, psychological mechanisms, worthiness, and meaning and belief systems. The empirical data not only suggests that religion is an important contributor to physical and mental health, but also support the models linking social support, such as the support religious communities provide with positive health outcomes. And in the last sentence of this whole paper, he says, what is clear is that religiousness and spirituality have become important variables in the investigation of what contributes to people's physical and mental health. So people who are associated with religion, they have a better mental health and physical health. That is a conclusion that they come up with. The question is why? How come? There are many reasons. One of them, they say, is the social aspect. When you get together, look at you right now. How you get together, you talk to one another, you discuss, you meet one another. That social aspect brings comfort to somebody. It gives one a sense of belonging. I remember a few years ago, in Edmonton, the city where I come from, in the month of Ramadan, the last Saturday on the month of Ramadan, what we used to do is we used to have an open house where we ask individuals to invite non-Muslim friends. And we would have iftar together. And I remember one day I was talking to somebody, a guest, an older fellow, maybe he was in his 60s at the time. And I asked him, so have you ever been to a place of worship? He says, actually, this is my first time coming to a place of worship, Islamic worship. First time being in a mosque. And I asked him then, what do you think? What's your experience like? He says, I used to always wonder, how do you guys fast so many hours in the month of Ramadan? 18 hours, 20 hours of fast. I was always wondering, how do you guys do it? But now that I've come here to sit down with you guys and observe you, how at the time of iftar, you guys sit all together, you break your fast together, you discuss with one another. That social interaction makes complete sense. That how is it that you guys can cope with these 30 days of fast? These social interactions are so good, so important. This is according to this 60-plus individual who works as an architect, by the way. That was his job. So it was interesting from an outside perspective about the social aspect. Another reason people say that religion brings happiness, religion brings comfort, is the power of prayer. When people actually pray to God, knowing that there is that deity who is going to answer their prayers. Here, Zakariya alayhi salam, the prophet, turns to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, asking him for a very big favor. Why is dua sometimes delayed? Why is dua sometimes not answered immediately? Are there certain du'as we can recite to facilitate the acceptance of our prayers? What did Prophet Zakariya alayhi salam pray for? Come back tomorrow and inshallah we will answer some of those questions as we discuss dua and the power of dua and the prayer of Zakariya alayhi salam. Right now, we can use the power of dua in raising our hands and asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept from us, inshaAllah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء 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 اللهم اكشف عنا السوء يا الله اللهم اغفر ذنوبنا كفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار رب اغفر لي ولوالدي وارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا اجزهما بالإحسان إحسانا وبالسيئات غفرانا اللهم اقض حوائج المؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات اللهم اجعلني مقيم الصلاة ومن ذريتي ربنا وتقبل دعاء اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج واجعلنا من شيعته وأنصاره وأعوانه والمستشهدين بين يديه اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين لقضاء الحوائج ولشفاء المرضى ولكشف هذه الغمة عن هذه الأمة ولتعجيل فرج مولانا صاحب العصر والزمان وإلى أرواح أمواتنا وأموات الجالسين والحاضرين والباذلين والمؤسسين رحم الله من يقرأ السورة المباركة الفاتحة مع الصلوات اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. We have a few minutes for questions. Does anyone here have any question? Preferably about the lecture, but if there are some things outside the lecture that were also good.